Okay, welcome back. And I thought we had, I guess we didn't. So one of the things that I was supposed to do is we get to reveal after the time advance. So south and east are the two targets. So we're gonna get the south target right now. And let's see, so 111 is going to basically, the city, oh my gosh, they're going after the city. The city is a low priority, strategic value 1. And if you look over here, the entire column is blank. So that's not going to happen. So we're going to skip that target and go to the next one, which is also a city, but this one's strategic value 3. So that one might happen. I rolled a 1 and we skipped that one. So let's keep going. All right, now we have an airfield on 711, and 711 actually has a fighter. It's the one. I don't know why I find this so funny. It's the one sector that actually had a squadron. Okay, so 711, strategic value 3 airfield. It is definitely going to be a raid. Now we got to decide major or minor. It'd be nice if it was a minor, and it probably won't be. 4 is a major, so major raid for 711. Everybody needs to get their late night munchies. Okay, so let's do detection. I rolled a 3. Let me position you a little bit better here. Okay, 3 plus 3 is 6. And then the target's OCV is with patchy clouds, it's a 4 to 10. And then undamaged radar, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we're on sufficient and accurate. So we're going to see what they're coming with. So let's draw the 2 cards. The Luftwaffe is full strength, so it's 6. Or no, it's depleted. Luftwaffe is depleted. It doesn't matter what level it is, it's depleted, so it is a 12. They're coming at us with 12 planes. I don't know why they attack you with more when they're depleted. I don't get that, but maybe it's because they're desperate. I have no idea. But they're going to do 12. And they're raiding the airfield, so we can't even leave our plane docked. Like, I don't want to attack 12 planes with or 12 squadrons, or 12 groups with one squadron. That sounds like suicide. But if I leave it and then they damage it, I actually lose more points than I want. So we got 2 ME-109s coming. So here's a B and a C. Okay, and then a DO-17, which I just grabbed off to the side. Maybe this is a more exciting thing to look at here. Then an ME-110, and the elite guy is not back yet. So ME-110. Then a DO-17, ME-109 is on CP, 2 ME-110s. We're out of ME-110s, so I now got to grab ME-109, and we grab 1 ME-109, and we're actually out of planes. So the rest don't come. So we ended up making it to 8. So the 8th plane came out, or no, the 7th plane came out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But then the 8th needed another fighter, and there's no fighters left. So when that happens, you don't draw anything else. So this DO-17 and JU-88 don't come out, and neither does these, of course, as well. So it is a smaller group, although it's still more than enough to tear me apart. Since I'm just one plane. They're going to be bombing with a strength 10 the airfield is for sure going to take damage. So I have no choice but to engage. So I will. And my only hope here is that an event card is going to help me. So we're going to start with the undetected hunter. Add an ME-109 grip to the hunt box. There is none to add, so we don't do it. That definitely didn't help us. All right, so we have 3, 4, 5 points against 4 strength, and that's not good. So 4 with 5 points is row B. A 3 is probably awful. So the Germans get a D for B and an A for C. And just making sure, yeah. So the B goes to the in-flight, and then the C's go to the in-flight flipped over. It really doesn't matter because they're all going to be flipped over because of the time of the day. And then this A basically goes to close escort. That's what's going to happen. Okay, so we have C. So C for us is an abort, and that's not a bad option. So we abort, we at least don't take damage and lose victory points. But unfortunately, they're going to drop their bombs. They have 10 points. So I'm going to go ahead and roll. We rolled a 2. 10 points. A 2 is 1 damage. They're going to get to shift it over 2 and then back 1 because of the clouds. So they do 1 point of damage. So we lose 1 victory point. We're back down to 0. And that's it. Now, all these ME-109s, because we're near the end of the day, the in-flight box is going to flip. Oh, I forgot to do the event. Move all full C patrolling squadrons to the in-flight box. That didn't affect us too much. But look at that. Time advance is 0. So there's going to be another raid. So everything goes back. All right. And then these 2 bombers are done for the day. Okay, well, here's the thing. There's no fighters at all. So it has to be a minor raid, whatever this next card is. That's just per the rules. If you don't have at least 2 fighters available, then you have to do a minor raid. So it is Luftwaffe 2. So Luftwaffe 2. Luftwaffe 3 is actually full strength. They haven't done anything the whole day. So we get Hornchurch, which is 611. And it has to be a minor. Doesn't matter what we roll. And let's go ahead and roll for detection. I rolled a 3. And then there's 2 radar nests, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then the OCV is 8, 9, 10. So we drop down to 10. It's a late response, but it doesn't matter. We have no planes on the field. So we're going to lose 1 victory point if a bomber comes. But remember, this is a minor raid. So let's draw the 2 and see what happens. Here's the first card. A minor raid is 1 and only 1 plane. And then here you can see that the plane is going to be an ME-109. So therefore, what's going to happen is, since there is no ME-109, this is what they call a false raid. So the false raid is going to get an automatic time advance of 2, which ends the day. So nothing's going to happen, no raid, we don't lose any victory points. And if you look over here, a time advance of 2 will bring us to end of day. So all these are coming back out, and ME-109s, it's a 110. And you probably know by now the routine, without even having to look at the rules. We know that these are all flipping back over. These flip overs are really just representing who's not eligible to go on a raid. I almost wish that there was just a box you could have moved them into, because the flipping over thing is, I guess I'm just being a whiner. So, flipping everything back, and we're now done. Everything's flipped back. A time advance of 2 Doesn't even, well, it doesn't even really matter because at the end of the day, everything is landing for us. So it's just a matter of putting everything back on the board. So that's a 711, so 312, 212, 112, 611, 411, 311, 211, 111, 410, 310, and done. Okay, so let's look at the calendar phase. We did squadron and group reset. We now have to do the day advance. Let's draw our day card. It is 2 days elapsed. So it goes 1-2 to August 18th. We do get 2 victory points for that. So we're up to 2. We do the event. If the VP total is 8 or higher, we are at 2. Or Luftwaffe is depleted. That is true. We're going to add cards 87-90 to the force deck and 129 to 134 to the raid event deck. So this is going to be interesting. The force deck, 87 through 90, are going to be added. And see, look at this. It's just all fighters. Look at that. Oh my gosh, it's just an amazing amount of fighters. So what's interesting about this is all that's going to do is drain their fighters quicker. But that's exactly what's happening. And then we shuffle. And this one's probably going to need a more advanced shuffle. These cards are really nice quality. Decision Games does do a good job of that. They're really hard to side shuffle unless you sleeve them. But they're pretty good at, shuffling like a regular deck of cards. But I know some people like that drives them nuts. And that's okay, I totally get it. But these cards they're not that bad. So then we're adding the events, 129 to 134. So I don't know if that's all the events or not. Let's look. 129 to 134, yep, that's all of them. So as you can see, it's a lot of fighter stuff. It's all fighter stuff. ME-109's close escort, fighter strafe. So it's all events relating to fighters. So let's get these shuffled. Okay, so we did that, and let's keep going. I think I'm going to need to look at the rule book. This section has still got a lot of steps to it. All right, we did the event, but also understand that this is our 4th day of raiding. And so cards 35 to 44 of the target deck get added back in too. So it says 35 to 44. So what's interesting is the cards that I'm putting down have this these city. Oh, that's not 35 to 44, right? So it's not everything. And a lot of these you can see are bombing London, right? So London is not in the game yet. This thing that happens after 4 days of raiding was not the London thing I was telling you about. These targets are just more... Oh, you know what these are? These are those deeper targets I was telling you about that we hardly ever get. These are all the deeper targets. So it just means that they're expanding their raid to go deeper. That's fine. So those get shuffled in now. So who would have thought you're gonna sit here and watch me shuffle? And I'm not even giving you the justice of watching me do that. I'm making you listen. So more targets got added. I honestly don't know what adds those London ones. I think it's an event, like a day event, but we'll see. And let me give this another good honest shuffle, and one more. All right, shuffling done. All right, next thing we do is, here you can see we have +2 victory points, so we get 2 experienced pilot points, and then we're gonna do all these. So let's go ahead and get that done. Okay, the Hurricane gets 1, 2, 3, 4. The Spitfire gets 1, 2, 3. The German Fighter gets 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's up to 6. And then the Level Bomber gets 3, puts it up to 3. And then we get 2 experienced fighter points. Okay. So what's next? Light loss replacement. So let's do ours first. Here you see we're gonna get, actually this would have been deployed as well. Here you're gonna see we're gonna get, we're going to spend 2 pilot points, so we lose the 2 we just gained, and then 1 Hurricane, 1 Spitfire. So let's go ahead and get those out. So we're gonna lose 1 and 1, and the 2 points we just gained. Okay, now let's do the German ones. Unfortunately, we didn't do as much havoc to them this time. So 1, 2, 3, 4 level bombers. Okay, they had 3 points. So they're gonna lose 1, 2, 3, and then the depletion goes up to 3. And then for the fighters, it's 1, 2, 3. And that causes them to go down 1, 2, 3, and they didn't go to 0 there, so they're fine. Okay, that was a pretty uneventful day. We can do the fighter replace, so we can add our fighters. Let's look again. It is August 18th. So from August 17th to August 26th, we can put out new fighters for -3 victory points. So we can get 2 more out there. I honestly don't know the good strategy here. We have a lot of Hurricane points. So I'm tempted to put out a Hurricane, although the Spitfires are higher strength. We just don't have a lot of Spitfire points. The Hurricanes are in group 11. There's 2 of them for 311. This one's 411, 212, which is much further away. 711's a good one. 410, 511, 311. And then otherwise it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26. That would be 26 experienced pilot points if I don't take any of these. Part of me is like, you know, that's not, well, that's way too many. We don't need that many per turn. So it doesn't hurt to take some. Now we're only losing 3 points per unit we put out. We could wait a little bit longer until it's only 2 points per unit. What I'm noticing is that the regions that they cover are very different. So 7, 5, 11, 110, 312. What's the date range again? So we're at August 18th, all the way up until the 26th, it's -3 victory points. Then from the 27th through September 7th, it's -2 victory points. And then after September 8th, it's nothing. So we might have some opportunity to do -2 victory points. And in fact, I probably was a little premature in doing what I did already. So we would be losing 6 victory points if I took 2 of these out. You know what? Andrew likes to watch these videos, and this is the Royal Canadian Air Force. How can I not put the Royal Canadian Air Force into this game? I mean, that's like his pride and joy. So Royal Canadian Air Force, we'll get that one out. It's in a crappy location, 311, but that's okay. And the 711 was really weak. It'd be nice to get another 711 out there. The 511 would be nice. There's a 711 here for the Hurricane and a 511. So we got Hurricane and Spitfire. You know what? I think I'm going to do, even though they're not as strong, we'll do the Hurricane just because we have more Hurricane points than Spitfire. So yeah, we'll do 2. We'll take a -6 hit. So Royal Canadian Air Force, reporting to duty, sir. And then this is a 711. I think I maybe wanted the 511. Let me think about this. Nope, I want the 711. We'll do that. So I just took out 2 more. And that's -6 points. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're at -4. Okay. What's next? Daily prep, repair, time of day. So let's draw for time of day. We get time advance of 1. I think this is one of our new cards. So time advance of 1. So we're gonna start on 0800. And then, no and then, and then, no and then, and then. We just want some fortune cookie. Okay, and then, advanced warning. Advanced warning, yes. So let's do our advanced warning. Luftwaffe 2 south and 3 are the 2 up on deck. So let's, we gotta do patrol. So 2 south is up first. If you don't go on patrol, it's very easy to get missed. And then Luftwaffe 3 is next. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna patrol everything up here. Why not? You only live once. So we're gonna do that. And 3 is next. Oh, you know what? I can get a little slicker than that. Let me think about this. Because 3 is next, I could hold these off and then have these patrol here, because 111 also my 511 guys can move up to 611. There's no harm in that. You know what? I'm going to do that instead. These 2 are going to go to 111 and patrol. The 111 guys are not going to patrol, okay? Because I'm saving them for the Luftwaffe 3. And then these 511 guys are going to come up and help patrol the 611, because this is not the, even though that says south end, this is the east, not the south. So they're not at risk right now. Okay, let's try it. We've done worse. Here we go. It is 211. Ding, ding, ding. Winner chicken dinner. Airfield, strategic value of 2. Airfield is a medium target. A 4 is a minor raid. So a minor raid is happening to this one. That's interesting. I was curious if London was considered adjacent, and it is. So we could have moved some stuff into London, which would have been better. So that 511 could have gone into London and then helped, but that's okay. You got to actually get, that's, you have to get an early warning in order to be able to do that. So I rolled a 1, which is awful. This is a minor raid. Oh, we got to do weather. I don't know what I was thinking. So, well, actually, I'll just count that 1 as the weather roll. So we're clear, clear. So now the 4 would have been for this. So, 4, and then the OCV is 4, so that puts us at 8. And then there are 2 radar nets, so 9, 10, and 11, 12. So we have a sufficient limited. So sufficient means that nobody can help. That stinks. But it's a minor. And limited means we at least get to see how many. So for the minor raid, only 2 are coming. I'm going to send everything I got, since they're on patrol. I don't care if there's only 2. I would have sent more if I could. And then we're going to do this. So it's an ME-110 and an HE-111. So the 110 has to be one of the elite guys. So let me grab the elite. So that's the elite guy. And then the HE-111. These guys are as good as toast. We're going to rock them. This is going to be a good one, unless the event screws us. So here we go, Cloud Scatter Raid. If the region has patchy or broken, reduce all A grouping. That would have been even sweeter, but that's not the case. And so off we go. They have a 1. And we have 4, 7, 10, 11. 11 points against 1 drops us all the way down to row I. So we're going to go ahead and roll. We roll a 3. And row I is HHA. He is an A, so he gets heavy damage. We just did heavy losses against their elite, and we just scored 2 points. So we go to -3, -2 for that. And then for us, it's a blank blank A. So the A is an abort, so we have to go to reduced to there, but these 2 come in, and now we're disrupting the bomber. We're intercepting him. Target event, secondary target, all A and C. He is an A. We'll go after the secondary target, which is a radar nest. I don't think he's going to live to see it. And so we have 3, 6, plus 6 is 12 against 1. That is also row I. And I rolled a 4, and a 4 against an A is a heavy damage. So we just got 2 more points. We're up to 0, baby. And our guy at a 4, the B gets disrupted. So he flips and everything else returns normal. So that was awesome. It was because it was a minor raid. That's what got us the bonus there. And Unfortunately though, check this out. Time advance is 0 and it's a follow-up raid. Oh no. Okay, well the follow-up raid though is it's identical, so it's also a minor raid. The only thing that changes is did we detect the follow-up raid? So let's go ahead and roll for that. So I rolled a 4. The follow-up raid gives me a +1 for 5. And then the 2 radar nets is 6, 7, 8, 9. And then the OCV is 4 more, so 10, 11, 12, 13. We got an early rating, which is awesome. And here's why. An early lets us do patrolling in sectors en route, which, as you know, was nobody, right? Because we spent all of our planes on the last one. But anything that's in range now that's patrolling. And in range is 1, 7, and London. And if you looky here, in 1 we have 2, and then in 7 we have 3. So we have a poor intelligence though, which means I think we have to deploy right now. And that's fine. I'm gonna deploy everything I got against this minor raid. And so boom, boom, boom. We're putting 5 planes on the docket. And let's zoom out a little for you. All right, so now let's see what they get. So for a minor raid, it's actually a big minor raid of 4. And we got an ME-110, so the other elite guy comes out. Then JU-88, 2 of them. The only 2 that are on the east here. And then an ME-109. So as long as it's not a B, we should be good. Just grabbed an A. Okay. So I can handle that, right? So we're going to draw the event for here, the channel patrollers hunt. There are no channel patrollers, so we're okay. And here you can see there's only 2 of them, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16 against 2. So we have 2, and we go all the way down to 16, which is H. Not as good as I, but we will take it. If I can roll a 5 or a 6, I rolled a 1. Not quite as good. And so we have a D, an H, and an A. So the B gets heavy damage, the A gets disrupted. And disrupted for them, I always have to look, just makes them go to in-flight. So the A goes to in-flight, and their other elite guy takes heavy damage. So he goes into the heavy damage box, and we score 2 victory points. We are up to +2. That is awesome. And now let's see what happens to us. The A's get abort, and then the C's are disrupted. So the A's abort, which means they're going to go reduced. And then the C gets disrupted, which means that we can put them in full strength, or we can reduce them and put them up with the bomber, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. And then the B's come right through, and so now we're intercepting the bombers. 3, 6, 8, 18 against 2, and 18 against 2 is the lowest row possible, but we have to draw an event. Looky here, time advance 0. The event is move all full patrolling squadrons to the in-flight box. Oh no, that's the A. I may have done that event wrong last time, but all the A's that are patrolling, well, we only have 1 set that's patrolling, that's here. And this one is an A. And that one's an A. So we just lost 2 from that group. Okay, but that was it. That was all that's patrolling. But we get to rock them now. And a 5 looks wonderful. A 5 is HHL. And we have an A and a C. So we have an H and an L. So this is a heavy damage and this is a light damage. So that's 3 points for us. 1, 2, 3. We're up to 5 now on the positive. And then disrupt for our A's. We have no A's, so everybody goes back fat and happy. Okay, that was a wonderful raid. Now, we rolled a 0, or we got a 0 in the time advance. That means there's another raid, so it just means we draw from the top, which is a Luftwaffe 3. And here you can see it's 111. So it's Portsmouth, it's the port, and let's put that down for a second. Now here's what's interesting, is if you recall, my strategy was I flew these guys down here up, so the Canadian Air Patrol got right into battle for us. And they basically flew over here to support 211. But if you'll notice, my 111 guys, they never did anything. So they're still there, and we're actually going to be able to respond to this raid. So it is a strategic value 3, and it's a port, which means that no matter what I roll, it's a major. So let's just go for detection. I rolled a 1. That's awful. Plus 3, because it's a major, makes it 4. Then the OCV is 1 to make it 5. And then we have 3 radar nets, so that's plus 6. That puts us to an 11, which is sufficient and limited. So let's go ahead and draw. They are going to be rating us with 11. And then we have to deploy, which I will. We're going to deploy all of our guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. And they're coming at us with 11. So we got one of the new ones. So look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ME-109s. That means they're going after us. They want to take out our planes bad. Holy cow. 6 ME-109s. One HE-11, and then 3 more 109s. Okay, so 1 goes here, 1 is an escort, and 1 is channel patrol. Wow. So yeah, they're swarming us. So even though we had 4 guys, they're coming at us with 7. And that means that we're going to get really poor points towards knocking them out. Now I understand why these cards give them an advantage. I mean, it's really hard to punch them in the mouth whenever they do that. Okay, so event. Here we go. ME-109's close escort. Move all B from the hunt and in-flight boxes to the close escort box. So there are 2 Bs, so they move away. That sort of helps us, actually. Too bad it wasn't the Cs. There were 3 of those, but that still helps us. And now we do battle, and instead of them having 7, they only have 5, which drastically improves our chances of moving down. So 3, 7, 11, 14. So we have 14 points. And unfortunately, even with a 5, oh no, that drops us all the way down to D. Whereas look, 14 points would have been B. So we dropped 2 more rows down. That actually helped us, that event card, at least for this phase. I mean, in the next phase, it's going to hurt us. But so I'm going to go ahead and roll. Roll to 1. That's usually not good. So let's see, we're in D. So the A's are abort and the D's are disrupted. So abort just means they flip over, and the C's just come over. Yeah, that's exactly what happens. Now for us though, the A's take a light damage, and then the B's get disrupted, and the C's abort. All right, so these 2 C's abort, which means they flip over. and go there. The A takes light damage, so we lose a point. And this goes onto our track. So we're down to +4 points. Now this one, we have the option to flip it over and go there. Now what the problem with that is we would have 2 strength, and all 3 of these escorts though are tied to that guy. So they would all join the battle. So we would have 4 groups with 8 strength, and that does put us to row C, which isn't super great. That's our situation. If I don't do that, then they get to apply 2 column shifts with their bombing, but I'm sort of okay with that because there's only 1 bomber. So instead of doing that with the disrupted, I'm going to just send him home and avoid the damage. So that's what I'm going to do. So let's draw the event card for them. The ME-110 Strafe, move all ME group in from the close escort box to the bomber box. That would have happened anyways, because when we don't have anything here, they do that anyways. But this would have been a guarantee, even if, and then look at this, there's a follow-up raid. Look at that. Dang it, dang it, dang it. The only nice thing about this is that they're blowing their load. They're putting all their eggs in this basket, and so we're going to let them go through. So this is a 5, 6, 7, 8 bomb, but it depends on the target. It's the port. So we got to look at our bombing table. They have a strafing penalty only if it's those targets. So a port does take full damage. So 5, 6, 7, 8. I rolled a 3, and they do get to shift 2 to the right. So 2 to the right is 2 damage. So we're going to lose 2 victory points. And it's a port, and that's all that happens to us. So we are now at +2. So the HE-111 goes back, and then all of these guys go onto the clock at +3, which is 1400. And these 2 go at 1600 for +4. All right, so now we got to do another major raid. Same exact location because it's a follow-up raid. It's 111, and let's go ahead and roll. I rolled a 1 again, Jesus. +3 is 4, plus the follow-up is 5, and then the OCV is 1 for 6, and then 6 more goes to 12. We're at a sufficient limited. We have no planes to intercept them, so we're just going to let them draw their 2 cards. And for a major raid, they're doing 9. And here we go. So they're running out of fighters here. So let's go 109. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 109s need to come out. One of them is in CP. We only have 4. 4 109s available. So we're going to have to substitute a 110 for the others. So the one that gets substituted is the last one. Okay. All right, and then an HE-111 comes, and a 110 comes. We need one that has a C. There we go. Oh, look, there was a 109 in the 110 box. So we're fine now. We got them all. But yes, we still need a 110. Done. Another HE-111. And a DO-17. Okay, we have nothing. So we're going to lose a victory point. We're going down to 1. They're attacking the port again. And let's draw the first event. Move all A group from the hunt to close escort. That would have helped us. So I don't think it does anything. It's like none of this matters. And then we're going to draw for the bombing run. Interception over coast. If the raid warning is none or late, it's sufficient. And then look at this. Time advance it's 1, but we don't get an advance warning. All right, so we do finally advance time, but let's just go ahead and bomb. So because these move to close escort, they get to join in on the bombing. That's the thing. So 2, 3, 13, 17. 17 is immaculate. So let's just hope we roll low. I rolled a 3. A 17 at 3 is 2 damage. Even if it shifts to the right, it's still 2 damage. So we are now at -1 victory point. So these guys all move +3 on the time clock. And then these are out, as is that one. Okay, so we finally advanced 1 on the time clock. So we are at 10 a.m., 1000, if you will. So let's see, this guy was 111. So now we got a lot of stuff to do. So these guys are all landing. So we flip them over and you can see that the 211s are gonna land, the 311 lands, 711, another 711, and 2 111s. So there we go, we're all landed. And then these guys are gonna just be rearming. So 111, 311, 7, 6, 2, and 5. So that's the drawback to time advance of just being 1. And then we have patrols over here that also have to land. And they're also rearming. So we got another 5, 6, 6, and 6. Okay, we get no advance warning, but we at least know that Luftwaffe 3 is being drawn. So I'm gonna at least patrol the ones I have for Luftwaffe 3. And then these ones are actually gonna go patrol in 111. And I'm gonna take this guy and move him up here to patrol 310 and move these two to patrol 410. Does that make sense? And then this guy over here is also gonna go up and patrol 410. So I'm moving stuff out of Luftwaffe 2 range up into here. And then this guy that was here, these guys moved over to there. So we have Luftwaffe 3 fully covered, even though we don't know what's after this first raid. So let's go ahead and rock and roll. I'm at 48 minutes, so I'm gonna just hit end and hit start. So thanks for watching, stay awesome.